Oh, we switched from Mississippi to Elephant. That's impressive. No, continue. This is entertaining. I want to see where this goes. I know. I want to see where the numbers go. I get a feeling they get good after 20. This isn't mathematics, it's enumeration. Hello, everyone. We're playing.
Hi, everybody.
Mathis for blocker is also high on the list.
Yay! Blades. I am playing. I'm tripping over all my words there. Sorry. That's good start from there from me. I'm sorry. I am playing Miracle Harbour. I am playing the Stranger Playbook. My true name, the name of my avatar is Tomorrow Yearns. I am spending most of the days as an architecture student doing a double master's degree, and I am playing the Tragic Genius and the Oracle of the Dream.
I'll go. I am playing Carys Gwilym, whose avatar / true name is EnfysPranc. And she is a disillusioned cynic, a weary caretaker. Basically a very tired, overworked student, does a lot of volunteering in his spare time, and just trying to save everybody. Everybody. Nobody dies. That's like her whole thing.
I'm playing Tern Welkin. Oh. Yeah. I'm playing Tern Welkin, who is named after a magic card. His true name is Stormcrow, which is also a magic card. He's a his role is a reformed conspirator, and is what do you call it? What do you call classes in this? I don't know. He's a guardian because that sounded blue. Anyway, yeah. Yeah, he has a code that he gets bonus exp for following, and the group gets group exp if they also follow it, if everybody follows it. Which we've got a pretty good run of so far. I don't think we got the series XP last time, but like sharks had to be punched. And yeah. I do have notes. Okay, we investigated Chris, who a representation of him showed up in Phil's dream. So we kind of went from there, but also us fighting that representation of him somehow got back to him through the dream world or something.
I've just realised I was muted on the actual stream, so that's fantastic.
Okay. So anyway, that last session, we investigated Chris, who had shown up in shark form in Phil's dream. It didn't go very well to begin with. He ambushed us, but Carys got to do a sweet ninja log thing with a decoy, and it didn't nobody got hurt there. And we tracked him to the dream version of some kind of mall that got shut down. And they put hydroponic farms in it, only it looked more jungly like in the dreamscape. So we were in there kind of ransacking Chris's dream world, and sort of fighting him / trying not to, but whatever. Let me see. What we got was that the cult and Carys' Uncle Jack are involved with the university's project of turning shopping centers into hydroponic farms for some reason. I'm not entirely sure where that's all going, to be perfectly honest.
Centers, warehouses, just anywhere that's abandoned, really, I think is the idea I've got.
I mean,
Tern admitted to Chris that he left the cult to help talk him and Carys down, so nobody ended up like tearing each other's face off or whatever. That was a thing. So Tern's cover is a bit blown, in that sense. Carys had been in Eclipse and was dragged out of Eclipse because we dealt with Chris with nobody injured. And then Chris told us suddenly that it was... Whose mentor is that again? Miracle's, I think, mentor Welkin recruited him and Braden and this other person in the first place. And Carys' Uncle Jack made a call about something, which probably the characters aren't supposed to know. But anyways, I think we're pinging off of Welkin to mess with Uncle Jack, I think.
Yeah. The man keeps turning up, so now we're investigating.
yeah. I mean, come on, he's just Carys' dear old Uncle Jack. What could he be up to?
What indeed?
So, yeah. With that, I guess we're going to begin. As I've said several times before, one of the principles of this game is campaign start in Season 2. And we're going to begin in Season 1. So, Nolas, Tern was at some point convinced to turn from the sort of cult and join the team. So when the sort of the dust settled and everyone was out of Tern's sort of dream realm, what were things looking like?
I imagine he was a bit of a mental wreck, but maybe like I think pretty much the day afterwards he would have like gone to, like, assuming that they had agreed on a time and place to meet with each other to talk about that and stuff, he would just immediately jumped into like, what is there that I can do and how can I help and how many man hours can I put into working off the stuff that I've done, kind of a thing.
Okay. Miracle, whereabouts would you and Carys have agreed to meet this potential turncoat then?
This is back in Season 1, would it have been?
Yep.
To keep it thematically, seeing as we're all university connected, it had probably been a few days before final exams for my bachelor's degree, so at the examination hall for it itself.
Interesting. And Carys, obviously
Hello.
your deal is you've been through multiple timelines. How many ways did this go wrong, and how do you reckon this actually went right this time?
How many? Probably plenty. I imagine there were times where Tern decided it was safer or better for whatever reason to dig their heels in, report these people to his superiors, or to take us on himself.
There are definitely a few timelines where he just outright ran away from the entire thing.
Or fled. Smart thinking. But I guess this time we found out what was being used to motivate or held over Tern, and managed to convince them that we can help. you with us have the power to yourself and or
Something's happened with your mic, Enfys.
Yep, you cut out a bit there, sorry.
Enfys? Just static.
We are in the technical difficulty stage of things again.
hello.
Okay, we can hear you.
Okay, now you're a
There
bit
we go.
clearer.
Excellent. Okay, I'm back. That was weird. Yeah, no, it's just, I think it would be a case of we find out what was being used to motivate Tern, and manage to convince them that things can be improved. We just have to work together.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. So yep, you have all met in the exam hall. And Tern, could you just remind us, what were your character's promises?
The promises that Tern has basically made to himself. Maybe to an extent, she's told the others about how he feels this way. His promise to Carys is a promise is, as the playbook calls it, the promise of martyrdom, to see her mission through, basically, to make sure that this, like, I'm still not sure if we're clear on how like how much we know about what Carys is going through with the time loop stuff, but basically, just to I'm blanking. Anyway, the way I have it put down is see her mission through, and the one I have put down for Miracle is just protect from cult. But I think in my notes I had it that he's not gonna let her get herself involved with the cult in an attempt to infiltrate it. Basically, not let people put themselves in a position to get suckered in to start working towards the conspiracy.
Okay, so yep, as you're quietly making these vows to yourself, the exam hall is sort of mostly empty at the moment. Obviously there's a couple of invigilators around, just making sure no one tries to slip in and leave notes or something under a desk. But you're being more or less left to your own devices. And while you're just sort of chatting, Miracle, you hear a quiet click behind you. It's a very sort of familiar sound of a cheap flint lighter, and you turn and see leaning against the wall is a sort of late 20s, early 30s woman. She's dressed in a very battered leather jacket. She's wearing a torn up denim skirt over jeans. And she's someone you're fairly happy to see. Although the fact she's lighting a cigarette indoors is probably a bit cause for concern, but she's got tenure. Do you say anything? Keith?
Oh, sorry, I'm muted.
Oh.
Yeah,
Professional stream.
I know. Sorry, this is Welkin, yes?
Yeah, that's Welkin.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of happy to see her. Also kind of confused why she's here, but yeah, I nod. I look at this new person who's joined our group, and see that Sarah's got like a hand on things, and go over to say hi.
She nods to acknowledge your presence and says, how's it going? Cool. Making new friends, I see.
Yeah, doing good. Sleep's getting a bit easier now, and exams tomorrow. Need to get back to that. Hopefully that's gonna go well. I can't remember what the subject was, but tomorrow's Thursday, right?
Tomorrow is Wednesday.
Oh,
she takes a long drag of her cigarette.
I have an extra day then. That's good. That's good. But about this time in her life, Miracle's like really like fully into insomnia and is barely holding on. It takes the whole of the season finale to pull her back from whatever happens.
Yeah. Well, whatever you do, just be careful, hey?
Yeah, I will be. Thanks for all the help.
No problem. And watch out for your friends. She makes a gesture towards Tern, and that's probably where we'll leave the flashback.
Rude. How dare.
See, I keep telling Keith the thing I love about this is he has absolutely no idea exactly what I'm going to do with this NPC.
I know. It's great.
He literally made the bisected Brioche bait NPC, and he doesn't know if I'll have the nerve to actually make her evil.
I know. Great.
She's on the chart. I'm still confused as to what. Okay, whatever.
She's on the side that upsets Keith the most, and I just need to work that one out. So anyway, we're back in the present, and yeah, I guess if this was an actual show, the cam would just pan to Tern and cut to him in the present. What are you doing right now?
I don't know. I think, actually, yeah, this kind of matches it, doesn't it? Talking to Phil, I think, who was previously his main point of contact with the conspiracy, and basically talking to her about working against it.
Okay. So yep, Phil is still a bit nervous, but basically not sure if she wants to just sort of keep her head down or if she actually wants to help. So what are you actually sort of doing with Phil?
Mechanically, I've kind of made it into a downtime project. I didn't know when we were going to be going into a downtime or if we're going to be...
Okay, downtime follows obligation. So we'll be doing obligation first.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is basically your obligation.
Right.
Remind me, which attribute do you roll for obligation? It's your lowest.
Lowest is, let's see. Lowest is Moon.
Okay, so Moon is rolled. If Moon is rolled, your obligation is something that breaks your heart or drives you to despair. So I guess you're sort of strained, just sort of trying to, just convince Phil, to sort of stay on your side and that you can have her back.
Yeah, maybe he's not remembering exactly or getting exactly right the exact words or whatever that Carys and Miracle used to convince him. So maybe he's kind of stumbling through that a little bit.
Yep. Just sort of trying to pay it forward, but
and stressing about it.
Yep. Well, let's not stand on ceremony. Let's roll and see how that goes.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I guess this is how it reflects on his stress level. I think this isn't not the project.
Yeah.
0 bonus dice.
Yeah, this is just going to determine how. Ooh. Yep, and you're starting with 5 stress, I guess.
Yep.
Well,
don't worry, it'll all reset at the end of the session. Okay, meanwhile, Carys. So obviously, you're all sort of planning on investigating your dear Uncle Jack. How do you feel about this?
Concerned, apprehensive, wondering if this is going to be one of the timelines where we confront family again. Probably not the first time, but it's something that she tries to avoid.
Okay, so what are you rolling for obligation?
Either sun or moon, because they've both got 1 in them.
Okay, well, I guess you're
I'm thinking moon because consequences from despair and heartbreak.
Yeah.
Since they've both got 1 in them.
Yeah, I was about to suggest that. So yeah, by all means, let's see how stressed you actually are.
Quite stressed.
Pretty stressed. Not as bad as Tern, but you're starting play with 4 stress. And that leaves us with Miracle. Now, Miracle, you have an ability that means you always roll stars for your obligation because you're the outsider.
That's correct, yeah.
And you can just smart your way through this. But what's plaguing you right now?
I think the insomnia is coming back, seeing as we've seen so much about everything leading towards Welkin recently. So just trying not to, a mixture between trying not to sleep and also not sleeping. So there's that currently plaguing her at the moment.
Yep, you're stuck in that one Our City Soul. So yeah,
I have
roll
no
away.
idea what the reference is. Right.
10 million
Stars.
fireflies. I'm weird because I hate goodbyes.
What stress?
Okay. Yep. That's a 6, so of course you start with no stress. But it's not a crit, so yeah.
Just sleepy.
Yeah,
Just very sleepy. I'm fine.
Yeah, you're not tired, you're not going to strangle anyone, just sleepy. It looks kind of cute.
Just EP.
You've been able to make up for it with coffee.
It's fine. It's all fine.
Okay, so that brings us on to downtime. Noel and Chris on their obligation roll, so everyone gets 2 downtime. Who wants to go first?
I kind of already know what I want to use both of mine for.
Go for it.
Yep.
Okay, so in my notes and in the chat, I have in all caps, heal action with Enfys. Or with Carys. Because we both have level 1 harm, and I keep forgetting about it. And I keep wanting to use this ability that heals 2 people at once.
All right. Sorry, go on.
So yeah, I have to think of the end story, the thing for everything. Don't improv this fast. Dang.
I mean, you can we can just roll the dice if you prefer. This is the help a friend recover downtime. Mechanically, in sort of Go by Moonlight, all harm is on some level sort of psychological. Like there can be an actual sprain, but it's sort of addressing the it's basically you're healing with the power of friendship, however it goes.
Yeah, it focuses on emotional effect.
Yep. So just sort of what you're going to do to support Enfys. What's Carys's level 1 harm again?
Rattled.
Yep. So Carys is rattled. So how are you helping?
Just kind of commiserating with what we're dealing with, trying to fight the conspiracy, I guess. Kind of just kind of a regular check-in without much of a specific agenda.
Okay, that sounds good. And you said you've got a special ability that affects this downtime?
Yeah, constant care. When you help a friend recover, you also recover based on your role. When you gather info, you can always ask who here is hurting for free. That second part's kind of irrelevant here, but.
Oh yeah. Unless you want to.
I think I might have used this before. It looks like my recovery clock has 2 chunks on it.
Oh yeah. You might. Well, it must have been someone else used it for you.
Yeah, that might be it.
But yeah, what action are you rolling?
Let's see what we got here. I suppose express.
Okay. When you express, yeah, express could
I don't
work.
have thoughts on anything that's more one-to-one with the idea of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd accept express, maybe emphasize or forgive, depending on how it's going. You could argue confess if it's more, talking about things you haven't really talked about.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the express.
Away.
Okay. Not transcendent. No bonuses, I don't think.
That works really well with Carys having been brought Ada Eclipse as well.
Yeah. Alright, so 2 is unfortunately only 2 segments.
Yeah, I think somebody did recovery action towards me on a different session. I'm not sure exactly when, though.
It would have to be Carys, since I don't think I can help recover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, Miracle, well, her playability ability means she actually can't do the help a friend recover downtime.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Carys might have done it with me after I got the harm from the first session, but before she got the harm from a different session.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you want to use your second downtime then?
Oh, yeah. And the second one is the okay, so that clears my thing, so I get to delete ringing ears finally. And the other one is the project to make Phil an ally, basically. That's another 4-part clock, which I also have 2 segments on.
Okay. Yeah, so obviously you just have a nice chat with Carys, and that helps you both sort of think things through. Carys is still feeling a bit rattled, but you giving this advice sort of helps you as well. But yeah, how you are going to sort of get Phil on side?
Like, yeah, this one is more intuitively expressed, I think.
Absolutely.
Use words with an agenda in mind. Okay, and this one we get a 3.
Okay,
wow.
that's one better, but still only 2 segments for your clock, I'm afraid. How's it looking?
4 out of 4.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, obviously you'd already done the work to sort of demonstrate to Phil that you can sort of fight back, you can help her, and you just sort of hanging around, being there, maybe watching her back a bit has convinced her that okay, if she sort of sides with you, you can win, and more to the point, you can protect her. So yeah, she's your ally now, and you can basically ask her for things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sweet.
Yep. And who wants downtime next?
Does Keith have any plans?
I think one of the actions that Miracle's going to be mainly focusing on is getting her major out of the way. We're a few months into the first semester, and already she's making a huge amount of progress on the sheer amount of paperwork she's got to do and the sheer amount of assignments she's got. I imagine she's in the perfect headspace right now to do the creative ones that require doing model making and creative thoughts and asking people what type of places they want to live in, and actually trying to express the idea that she's got behind her ethos, which is making sure a city is right for everyone and looking forward and not dwelling in the past.
Yeah, I have a feeling you have an action in mind for this.
I was thinking forgive. No, I'm thinking express.
Okay, roll away, and let's see how many segments you get on your clock. Sounds like a euphemism.
Is there a way of doing on the character sheets, of the way of making it so it does these without doing rolls, like as criticals, as game rolls, but I guess not. Just express, yep.
Yep, I mean, it's... No... Well, okay, yep, 5's good. So that's 3 segments.
3 segments on my clock. Presumably, I do a very good job at this one.
By the way, Enfys, you did put 2 segments on your killing clock for my roll, right?
Yes, I did it.
Okay, sorry.
I was listening.
Sure.
Yeah. So this actually goes well. Like, you sort of set up a survey, distribute it around the city. A few of your sort of, I suppose you're not really at the point in uni where you have classmates per se, but some of your acquaintances sort of agreed to hand them out like flyers, and you get a pretty decent response to the survey. And this gives you a lot to work on.
I make myself a lovely model out of plasticard and like lollipop sticks, and start doing an idea of what the city could look like in the future.
Amazing. A Keith character who makes terrain.
Right, what you know. And it's time to do some investigation. Pointedly not about Welkin, though.
Okay. Are you sure you don't want to learn more about your beloved mentor?
No. I think everything that she's doing is perfectly fine. It's not... It's fine. It's all fine. It is all fine. I'm going to investigate things about the conspiracy that aren't about Welkin, and definitely not accidentally do things about Welkin.
Okay. What's your sort of line of inquiry?
I don't want to investigate Welkin. I'm being pointedly looking at things that aren't Welkin. I'm going to defy everything.
Okay. Yep. I'll allow that. Defy to
I'm looking down all potential avenues that aren't about Welkin, and it's like, no, Welkin's good. Like, see, this means that she's good, right? And whether that confirms or denies anything is up to you, I guess, Brie. But I have gathering information questions afterwards, so. But yeah, more importantly, investigation track.
Carys won't allow it.
I'm willing to fight against the GM.
So it looks like that's another 3 segments on the. Is it 3 segments or?
Yeah, 3 segments on the investigation track.
Is it 3 segments?
Yeah, 5 is 3 segments.
Yeah, 3 segments. Yeah, 3 segments. So that puts the investigation track on 3 up into tier 2. And I get a gather information question, I believe.
Yeah.
1 question, 1 follow up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you get for a 5, I believe.
Okay. Given my investigations are about Welkin, in spite of Welkin, and all of that,
Well, isn't, if you will.
Who doesn't belong here?
Who doesn't belong here?
Oh, I should roll an extra dice because I investigate. Oh no, because I get a negative dice because of the encounter, because of all the stuff's going on. Yeah.
So that basically just offsets that dice at the moment. Or that die if you want to get penalised by YouTube. But yep. So who doesn't belong here? Interesting question. So you sort of look at you sort of basically ask around, do some discreet inquiries, check sort of histories and records that you can get access to without arousing too much suspicion.
I'm doing my project. I'm allowed pretty much anywhere at this juncture.
Yeah. So what you discover is the dive bar that Welkin hangs out at all the time actually went out of business a good 5 years ago. Thing is, you see Welkin drinking there all the time, and she's far from the only one. So what's going on there?
Ghost bar.
Wait, so the entire bar is what, staged for someone's benefit? That's my follow-up.
Your follow-up's the entire bar's what, sorry?
Is like being staged as though it's running for someone's benefit. It's a fake bar that's running.
Like a mafia outfit.
Yeah, so you follow up and you find basically while it doesn't have a license and there's no evidence, it's you sort of flash back to the last conversation you had with Welkin, and she sort of inflecting it like a joke says she's keeping the bar afloat.
Oh no.
And you realise, okay, something supernatural is going on there.
Oh good. That's what we want to hear. Yay. Okay. Well, those are my downtime actions.
I don't want to find out that my mentor is working for a conspiracy. Okay, you find out that she has superpowers instead. You still don't know what her line, what her allegiance is.
This is a good thing.
Yeah, she just has the incredible power to always get a drink when she needs one.
Yeah, this is nothing at all is wrong here. Nothing at all is wrong. Nothing at all. Someone else take the downtime actions before I like have miracle like info dump on all of you.
Love me.
Okay, Carys.
Okay, first question. Does anybody still have harm?
I got rid of mine.
I've never had harm.
In which case,
I need to try
I'm
harder.
not going to do a recovery thing because can't recover my own and nobody else needs help. Okay, first things first. We need to do a little bit of looking into Uncle Jack. Let me pull up my notes. notes, which I do have open. They're just in a different tab. Okay. So I know where he works. I know what he does for a living. I know that he's been kind of withdrawn from the family as of late and is conflicted about something. Carys would like to connect with him.
Okay, connect's good. So you're literally going straight to Uncle Jack, and you're just gonna, you're not gonna straight up ask him, but you're just gonna try and pry the truth out of him, or just sort of spend some time with him, hope something comes up.
See how he's doing. Share like the mundane concerns and worries, trials and tribulations of university life, and see if I can get him to open up about things that might be worrying him on a similar level.
Okay.
Like I'm not gonna straight up be like, so that's supernatural nonsense, eh? But I figured there is some manner of reflection between the conspiracy and reality. And so if he opens up about real, like the mundane life problems that are happening, maybe that can be a hint as to if he is in some way involved, or if somebody's maybe trying to get something from him.
Yeah, that makes sense. Roll away.
So that would be express, I guess.
Yep, express.
Risky, standard. No bonus.
Oh yeah, it is -1 to any investigation roll. Did you account for that?
I did not. Let me do that again.
Yep, so if you just roll another d6, and you'll have to take the lowest, I'm afraid. I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Yep, so that's become a 1, which only means you get 2 segments on the investigation track. I believe that...
Oh, we get 2 for 1.
Yeah, where is the investigation track at the moment anyway?
In the
It's on the protagonist sheet. So we're up to way through tier 3. Halfway through tier 2. Five out of tier 2.
Yeah, I was thinking, wait, what? Okay, and let me just double check the investigation roll rules. I mean, the gather knowledge rules.
A 1 to 3 is 1 question.
Okay, yep, you get 1 question, no follow-up. So, what are you trying to glean from dear old Uncle Jack?
That would be from the gather info rule questions on your sheet. Enfys.
Yeah, no. I'm What is different about Uncle Jack this time?
Okay, so as you're talking to Uncle Jack, he seems a little tired, but most notably of all, he seems a bit twitchy, nervous. When you try to bring up certain subjects, he tries to quietly steer you away from them. It just seems like he doesn't want to talk about anything.
Like things like his work, or places I've seen him. Like, hey, I saw you at the fishing place. What were you doing there? Etc. Etc.
Yeah, basically. He seems a bit, for want of a better word, I guess he wants to just keep his head down.
That doesn't sound like my favorite uncle at all. Okay. Do I do another investigation, or do I make some links?
Not that I want to tell anybody what to do, but with the 4 stress available, I can only safely push myself once before risking
that's
it.
why I was thinking of making making links.
Yeah.
Because we did badly.
Yep. So obviously the series rule turns make connection into
an intimate moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
So are you going to approach Tern?
Yes. But what am I gonna do?
I kind of ended up landing on deciding that the major that is changing to is photography, so I don't know, museum maybe, or some sort.
Yeah, keep in mind this is basically it's not just hanging out, you're basically opening up to each other.
Yes.
Maybe not.
I think I'm thinking it would be a conversation around I've forgotten the name. Tern's contact person.
Phil.
Phil?
Phil, yeah. With Phil's recent defection, and drawing parallels between Phil and Tern, and being like, okay, this is your sort of friend person. We're gonna lead. I'm gonna let you take the lead on it. But here's my advice to not have them go running, etc. It's things to look out for. Just be empathetic. Be aware of their concerns and listen to them. Because first and foremost, we need to be friends and allies, and then deal with the everything else.
Mm-hmm. That would definitely be helpful, considering that Tern is probably not having the easiest of times, considering one of the rules that he ended up with in character creation was not being able to ask for help. So trying to persuade somebody to defect and persuade them to help without asking for help, but also not coercing them because violence is off, but also not. Yeah, that's. He's kind of making himself jump through hoops in this.
I rolled a 2. It was not good.
Oh well.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's only going to be 2 links. You may did you oh yeah, sorry.
Oh right, yeah, I forgot.
Did Tern
I forgot.
share the
Share
moment,
and
or
not
did
share.
you hold yourself away?
Wait, yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Even though he did not ask for help, as is his way, he does accept help. I definitely think he'd be sharing this, meaning that's the one that you get an extra die.
Yeah, so this time you can roll an extra die, and that's going to improve things.
I'll just roll 1d6 again.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
5.
Okay, it does improve things. Okay, good.
Yep, that bumps you up to 3 links, which you can share between yourselves.
Spend them as you will, Tern.
It's oh yeah. Either way, target player signs it. I'll take the one of them if that's okay. So you can have
sure.
How much? I forget how much stress everybody rolled. How much stress did
I have no stress.
And I got less than you.
Yeah, Enfys rolled 2. You rolled a 1.
Okay, so I'll take
I'm a
one
good GM. I remember
for
these things.
I'll take the one towards Carys then, and you take the 2 towards me.
Yep. Okay, that's 2 downtimes then.
Okay, that's downtime done. Done time, if you will. So yeah, I think today we'll just skip straight to the Fallout roll. Just messing with you.
I was a little confused.
Okay, so yep, now we're on to the mission proper. So, we're going obviously where the planning phase is, well, like as with Blades, you're just going to decide what you do. You're going to do the engagement roll, and if you need to have planned something in advance, obviously you've got flashbacks for that.
Yep.
For anyone who's just a reminder for anyone who's played Blades, by the way, flashbacks have completely replaced load. So if you need an item, you can just flashback to having it, and if it's something you don't reasonably have, you don't really need to. It won't cost you any stress.
And Transcendence automatically gives you use of armor, I think.
That's correct.
Losing track of that.
Armor is basically just you can use it for a couple of things, but the most notable thing is it's basically a free resist roll. But yeah, so the planning phase, you're going to investigate Uncle Jack. What's your plan?
I have a suggestion.
Roll ears.
We propose that there is a university project going on that we are each a part of for different aspects of it, to account for the fact that we have vastly different majors that we're working towards. And it's going to involve something around Uncle Jack's specialty.
Mm-hmm.
And his sort of company type thing. So I'm thinking like architectural buildings, greenery, and how these things, living around such things, would improve the well-being of people in general. And then that's our way in to have a look-see around what he's doing in the day-to-day and who he's interacting with and how any of this could tie to the conspiracy.
And presumably they also need photographing, I guess.
I mean, yeah, this is important for building evidence, right? For the examples of the things that we're proposing as part of this paper.
Okay, so yeah, your plan is to basically lure Uncle Jack. Okay, so once he's sort of engaging with this project, what's the plan then?
Establish if he's connected to the conspiracy in some way, or if they have their grips on him.
Okay.
Are we talking about stuff that we're doing in the physical world or in the dream world?
I mean, this is physical first, I believe.
Basically, all missions are entering someone's dream to see if they're either part of the conspiracy or to confront them if they're.
So we can flash back to. We can set up the encounter for it, but we can flash back to physical if needed.
Right. No, I understand. Yeah. All right. So this would be after we've done that, and now we're entering the dream to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we could just, basically, I think in the if we kind of find a location tied to that project in the dream world, like
I mean, the project is a farce. It's a fake. It's a lie to get us close to Jack, and then after that, it's we have to make it easier to enter Jack's dream world. I probably know where he lives. Because he's my uncle, and we definitely know where he works. So these are good avenues to start for how we get in to his dream.
Yeah.
I mean, you're close to him. You can probably just switch his coffee for decaf or something.
And you're sure it's going to be okay to just fall asleep in your car? Yeah.
Yeah. If we want to be close to him, you know,
mean,
it's
given last time we tried to navigate and someone knew we were coming, it took a bit of a toll.
slightly, yes, but you know,
But we didn't have somebody who like knew this.
I know the I know the area well enough. I'd be to find us a safe-ish spot. As safe as it can be, you know.
All right. Yeah. Let's I guess roll engagement after that. Then yeah.
Yep. This all sounds good. So this is going to be a tier 1 mission. So I think because you're at tier 2, that's neutral, because I believe something makes everything tier higher.
We've got one that gives us a dice penalty from the indoctrination until we identify and confront the overseer here.
Oh, that's correct. So there's always hope. The protagonists start with 1d for every mission. Except no, you don't.
No,
there is no hope.
We lose and die.
It's hopeless.
It's wild the juxtaposition of like that and all the debuffs that we start with. It's like rule number 1, there's always hope, so you get 1 die. Rule number 2, no, there isn't. You lose 1.
To be fair, that is unique to the this particular playset. Okay, so second, is this mission particularly heroic or noble? Or
I don't think so.
Goals do the goals or methods reflect the worst parts of the protagonist?
Is manipulating? No, we're not really like manipulating your uncle to do anything particularly wrong. We're just swapping out his coffee for decaf and making him think of us so we can jump into his dream easier.
Yeah.
Nothing particularly wrong about that.
I mean, the closest I can think of to being the worst parts of the protagonist is Carys acting without communicating the concern with the person involved. Except she's not doing it by going solo this time. It's with the rest of the party.
Yeah, so I think we're okay. It's not our worst traits here.
Okay,
Yeah.
not your very worst at least. Okay, is the mission following through on details from your investigation? Or are you acting rashly on little information?
I think in actual fact, I think we are acting on very little information, because all we know is that we've seen Uncle Jack in a bunch of places. Did we see him in the police station as part of like a vision thing, or was that...
we saw him like giving information like in the first cop's dream. So I think we've actually got it's not like we're grasping at straws. We know we're after someone who's in the conspiracy's web. It's not like we're poking at weird things come out. We don't know much about Jack, but we know that he's involved.
Yeah, there is a connection. So we are following on details from investigation then. Hooray!
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you can have an extra die for that.
If we were, for instance, going after Nora, the janitor, from my sheet, then I think we wouldn't get that, because Nora has been off screen this entire time so far.
Yeah.
This is true.
Next one.
Okay, does it determine the fate of a friend?
Does Uncle Jack count as a friend for Carys?
I mean, yeah.
Cool.
He's their uncle.
Yeah.
But
troubles. Go on.
Are troubles from the protagonist's mundane lives getting in the way?
I mean, it's getting in Carys' way because it's Uncle Jack. Like,
it's the opposite, really. We're tying this into our degrees.
Okay, yeah, that's a good point, actually. But little do you know, Wern is staring mysteriously. No, I'm just messing with you. You can have them.
I mean, that might come to bite us in the ass anyway, but we'll find out.
Yeah, so that dies fine then. Does the mission tier exceed the current tier of the investigation?
Sorry.
It's okay, carry on.
I was just saying that Welkin, meanwhile, has shown up in like every session so far. Like some incriminating evidence has shown up every session for Welkin. I think.
Come on, you just established she's communing with the spirits.
It's a bit more ambiguous, to be fair. But yeah, next question.
Okay, does the mission's tier exceed the current tier of the investigation track? It does not.
Nope.
Okay, and are there any other elements you want to consider?
That's on you, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think...
The thing that comes to mind is the last success we had.
The first clue that we had about Welland's involvement involved Phil, who is basically working alongside us to some extent now.
Yep, that's
so
true.
maybe that can wait. Oh no, that's relevant to Welland, not to Uncle Jack. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, you do have Phil, so she can sort of... basically, I will say that because Phil's watching her back, you can have an extra die.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so we'll say until something bad happens to Phil, that is going to be sort of offsetting the penalty from the conspiracy, but it's not a certain thing.
Yeah, I was figuring
what...
Phil would probably be for like a flashback kind of a thing, probably. But maybe that as well.
Yeah, basically, you can also flashback and ask Phil for favours, but obviously, if something goes wrong with that role, you might sort of lose access to her help.
Mm-hmm.
So that puts us on 4.
Okay, that's a pretty big role. Who wants to do the honours?
I think it's emphasis on us at this juncture. I believe in you, Emphys.
4d6.
Oh, I just realised I've completely forgotten to do any music.
Oh wow, 3, 6, 2, 4.
Yeah, so that's a 6.
Hooray!
Yeah.
So good job we had 4 dice because my god, those rolls were sketchy.
Yeah, no, we look at the 6.
Okay.
We got a 6.
They were all over the place. Okay, so a 6. We're going to cut to the action. So, obviously, you begin in a control position. Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was just switching the music on there.
No worries.
Good.
Because I completely forgot to do that at the start of the session.
It's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, basically, it's off without a hitch. You spend the day hanging out with Uncle Phil, and he does actually sort of realise this was basically a setup, like there's no actual project. But he sort of concludes that he's not been spending much time with Carys, and this was just a plan to spend more time with him. And he accepts that. And he managed to give you all some very meaningful life advice. Like, it's not necessarily advice you'll follow. He suggests he tries to convince Miracle to maybe chill out a bit, get more sleep. He reassures Tern that, his friends will always stand by him. And he assures Carys that she's the best and she's going to keep being the best. And, nothing's going to go wrong.
Oh, you're so precious.
Aww.
And after that, obviously, I guess Carys drives drives Miracle and Tern.
Miracle.
Yeah, Miracle to somewhere, sort of a safe side street nearby his flat. Or yeah, I guess he's probably got a flat because he probably moves about quite a bit. And wait until the night sets in. So, yep, you all drift off to sleep, and you find yourselves in... Okay, I'll just adjust the map. So
Living in
basically,
a shotgun shack.
at the point where the peninsula connects to the mainland, there's a fairly large green belt, which is very unimaginatively called the forest. It sort of covers the main road heading in and out, but there's also a fair bit of forest just on the sort of the western side of the peninsula. And it's just basically a nature reserve. And you basically find yourself here, and you realise this is a sort of a threshold where, you know, it's the sort of part of the peninsula that someone's mind's in, and it's just a sort of where you can easily slip into their dream. So as you just sort of stood around in this forest, and you can sort of look around, and it's, you know, it's sort of dream logic. So after a bit of walking, you find yourself on a large farmstead in a clearing, and you know instinctively this is Uncle Jack's dream world. What do you want to do?
Weird that it's not part of the city. Normally we're in the city for these things.
Yeah.
Have we had a dream outside the city before?
You have not, but
We
you will
had
know
the-
that this green belt is effectively part of the city.
Hmm.
We were on a pier once, but that probably counts as part of the city.
Yeah, that's part of the city. That's still the docks.
Presumably, this would be reminiscent of something Carys either has experienced or has some awareness of through either pictures or stories or what have you. So what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. Sorry, you were going to
No,
talk.
carry on.
So what I'm thinking is that Carys can mold herself to this dream somewhat, and have the current form that she's having shift to match it in accordance with what Uncle Jack's memories of Carys would be if he were being nostalgic. So like the more business-like attire would shift into something more like a flowy, more brightly coloured sort of dress type thing. Your hair would stop being so tightly compacted and tied back, and would flow a bit more, maybe with like Alice hairband thing. And she'd end up looking oddly cheerful.
Yep, that sounds good.
So basically, if he sees you, he'll, like, to the extent that he knows about dream world stuff, he'll think he's looking at his own projection of you rather than you having invaded his dream.
Yeah.
A version of Carys that is based on memory and not the current actual person.
Yeah, the version of Carys that lives in his head.
Yeah, what do you want to roll for this then? Just to sort of influence the dream so you can appear that way.
Express to convince the world to allow me to conform to it and it to me. Wait, no. What about flow?
Flow works. This is basically your uncle's mind escape, and
acting in accordance with Uncle Jack's expectations of me.
Yeah, I was going to suggest conceal or emphasize, but yeah, flow definitely works. You can roll that. Would you like to push yourself, or does anyone have a poison promise?
No, I'm good at the moment. Unless you want one, Enfys.
I could be tempted. My rolls have been really bad, so an extra dice might be a really good idea.
So if you're if you're flickering into a previous like a few years back for Ceres, which Ceres are you going a few years back for? You're a time traveler. There's multiple of you, and are you the correct one? Are you all of them at once? Is it starting to be a lot of memories all at once at the same time?
So like maybe in that way, well, it's tricky to think of a poison promise that doesn't completely or partially defeat the purpose of the role.
Yeah,
because like the idea is making it so you blend in without.
I like what he's hinting at there though. Like is some.
Even if it passes, it's going to be a lot of conflicting memories for you.
How about if it succeeds, that's going to be a notch on the conspiracy track, because you basically end up giving away more information through sort of projecting multiple timelines this way.
Ooh, like it's a two-way street on the information that
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Okay, that sounds good. You can roll with an extra die then.
What's my position?
I'll say this is risky stand. I'll say this is
control,
controlled. This is controlled standard because you've got a good roll, and you've just sort of you've moseyed on in undetected.
Not transcendent. Bonus die. Okay, it's a good job I took the promise.
Yep. If someone wants to mark the DOS off on the conspiracy track, and that's a complete success with no other complications. So you flash back to sort of like there's some sort of like it's a nice sort of lightweight summer dress with some sort of practical dungarees over it to stop getting dirt on it. And it's some nice boots, but they're still sort of outdoors boots.
Yeah.
Like some hiking boots with socks, I guess.
I head off waving the other two along with a really sort of cheery disposition of it's this way, come on, follow me. And skip along whatever pathway there is to where I would expect Uncle Drac to be.
Okay.
You seem
anyone
happy here. You seem really, really happy here.
Okay, is anyone doing anything else, or are you just following along?
To the end of like making sure we have a better idea of a direction to go in. I was wondering, would I be able to like kind of send up a smaller version of Stormcrow just to kind of like scout around, like I guess around the top of the tree line or above it, just for kind of any kind of a clue as to where might be a significant part of the dream to investigate, or would that be more of a transcendence kind of thing?
I'll allow it. I'll say, well, what do you want to roll for it?
Kind of like sending out a familiar to scout in like D&D or something.
Yeah. I think I'll allow that untranscended. But
okay.
What do you want to roll?
Perceive, I think.
Okay, yeah. Perceive works. I'll say this is going to be risky with limited effect because you're basically sort of trying to view things remotely.
Yeah.
Do you want to push yourself? Take a poison promise?
I forget. Is a link a free assist, or I can never remember what all links do.
A link is similar to pushing yourself, or you can use it to ignore a harm, I think.
Oh yeah. If you've got the if you've got the PDF of the book, it's on basically the last page, 223. You can recover stress, spend a link to recover 2 stress. That can affect you or the link character. You can shrug off harm. You can help someone, so give them a bonus die for free. Or you can lend strength, which is basically relevant when someone's on the Eclipse roll. You can turn a result of 4 or 5 into a 6.
Enfys, would you be cool with this thing with the links for an extra die for this?
Sure. If you really want it.
Yeah,
There you go. I've marked it
we
off.
have a couple.
I've marked it off.
Okay. Roll away then.
Transcended, bonus dice 1.
Oh, I'm afraid
Well-
that's a failure.
Well, we got a bad roll out of the way, I guess. We got a bad roll from Link out of the way. That's one. I'll look at it that way.
Yeah. Okay. So you basically you sort of send Stormcrow, like a miniature version of Stormcrow, just to sort of swoop around the perimeter. And what happens is there's a loud bang, as if it's somewhere between a gunshot and a cannon shot, and you just sort of lose your connection with this small sort of version of Stormcrow you sent out. Basically what I'll say is, until you roll a natural 5 on a d6, you won't be able to transcend.
Ooh. Rough.
Actually, no, that's a bit harsh. Until you succeed on a roll, you won't be able to transcend. I think that's a bit kinder.
When daggone shot my stand. Dang it.
He did always say he was going to get that blackbird. He knows where he be.
Boy.
You just hear Stormcrow groggily squawking in the back of your head.
Yep.
Okay, Miracle.
Should we have to worry about being shot ourselves here, Cyrus?
Not unless you sprout feathers.
I'll try not to.
Okay, is anyone doing anything else, or are you just following Carys?
Following Carys at the moment.
Okay, so yeah, you both follow along Carys as she skips along. And Carys, as you get close to the farm, what you realise is 2 things. While the farm building seems to be normal sized, the fields around it and the tractors are huge, and there's massive furrows. It's basically the size of trenches. So you basically have a choice here. Do you want to take the high ground or the low ground?
High ground. I think Carys would just stick to like the main path, as it were.
Okay,
in maintaining this disguise, like.
Yeah. Okay, so as the 3 of you sort of head over this, you just sort of get a sort of a vague feeling that this is an uncommon in a dream, and you just feel exposed. Anyone can roll, but what would you like to roll? So basically sort of navigate safely.
I'm going to look for conceal. Like, we're in like a farmhouse like around, aren't we? So there's going to be, I'm assuming there's going to be crops or grass or something that we can hide easily in. Yes.
Yep, that sounds good.
Yeah, so I'm going to conceal us.
Yeah, there's a sort
by
of
being sneakies.
Sneaky. Okay, that's going to be risky standard. Do you want to push yourself, or spend a link, or take a poison promise? I'm
going to push myself, so that's 2 stress.
Okay, that's 2. Yep, 2 stress. So add your extra die.
Nobody has any miracle inks.
Yeah, not
True.
today, no.
Oh yeah.
And we're just on risky standard, are we?
Yep, risky standard. Things haven't gone pear-shaped
Alright.
yet.
You were saying?
Yeah.
Ew. Who
I mean, I was
knew?
hoping. Okay. Miracle. You had decide you sort of maybe want to hide. So you just sort of stand up. Have you ever seen the theatrical adaptation of All Quiet on the Western Front?
No.
Okay, so basically, obviously, it's about a German soldier who spends the entire war sort of learning about the horrors of war, writing his journal. And the last scene is basically him, I think it was like a BBC adaptation. He sort of stands up with his journal and gets shot. And that's basically what happens to you. You just stand up, look around for a hiding place, and you just realise a second too late. You've been looking for one for too long, and you're very much exposed. And
I would like to resist this.
Okay. A loud shot rings out, and what would happen is a loud shot rings out, and you're blasted into the ploughed trenches. I guess this is going to be sun to resist. Yep, this is going to. Yep, that'll be sun to resist, I guess.
Yeah, because it's resisting violence or fear. So yeah. 1 stress.
Yep, 1 stress. You just sort of roll up and dive into the trench yourself, and there's a blast and a load of dirt lands on you, but you're unharmed. And the other 2 of you, I'll say, can probably just hop in now that you realise what's going on. Welcome to the trenches.
I'm not going to do that. I'm gonna run towards it, waving, saying, "Uncle Jack, don't shoot me."
Okay.
It's me, Carys.
Okay, what do you want to roll for this?
Express.
Okay, yep, express works. I'm going to say this is desperate because you saw what just happened.
So now I'm going to flashback to Carys having warned us that her uncle is a gun nut.
I think we know this now. I think we knew it when your Stormcrow was shot. So
Yeah.
Okay, I will say that Uncle Jack isn't necessarily a gun nut, but he is a farmer, so he will have access to guns. Okay, so that's going to be desperate standard. So good news, you get a point of XP.
Yeah.
Don't forget to mark that down on your sheet. And do you want to push yourself to take a devil's bargain? Ask anyone to spend a link.
That completes one of my bars.
Ooh. Well, put a pin in that because I don't believe you get the DOS until the end of the session, but heck yeah.
Duly noted. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna push myself.
Okay. That's going to be 2 stress.
Yep.
But you get an extra die.
And
roll
die.
away. And hope for a 6 or things are going to get bad.
Well, I got a 4.
It's not a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I successfully
that's
get his attention.
Yeah, so that's a success for consequence. So you sort of skip along a bit quicker than you were. And you sort of see, you do actually sort of see in the distance Uncle Jack. What you basically see is him gesturing. It's like, stop. And you just sort of see him gesture to basically get your head down. And it's at this point you realise maybe Uncle Jack is not the one responsible for this shooting going on.
Oh no.
But because obviously, because of his warning, you're able to sort of jump forward. Like you slide forward a bit, and a massive gunshot impacts the soil next to you. Mark down level 1 harm. Let's say sprained ankle.
Oakley dogley.
I believe that puts you on 2 level 1 harm at the moment, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I could
So
resist, I could spend the link to resist it, I guess. But
You could do.
if you want,
Yep, you can do that.
I'll be fine. Don't worry about
okay.
it. The session
got
is
2 arms
early, and
now,
I'm
Oh wait a minute,
concerned we have more
wait a minute,
things.
doesn't this reset your healing clock too? Taking another harm?
I don't know. I'll look that up while we
That's
continue.
I believe that's a rule in Blades, but I'm not entirely certain about this.
Yeah, I'm literally going to look it up now. So.
But yeah, Tern, are you staying in the trenches?
So I guess we just kind of all walked into them, or?
Well, I went into them. I guess
Yeah.
you were following me.
Miracle was sort of blasted into them. Carys tried to not be tried to move, not in the trenches, and it didn't end too well for her. You can do what you want.
I get. Yeah. Tern's gotta go in. He's gotta go in one way or the other.
Okay, yep. So Tern, if you hop into the trenches, you can you and Miracle can just follow them to where Carys is and meet Uncle Jack on the other side. Uncle Jack is sort of just sat at a small table on the patio of the farmhouse. He's got a load of just iced tea and other sort of lemonade and various sort of snacks and cakes, a couple of jam scones, and he just sort of seems to be sitting there. You notice, however, there's a large sort of wooden barrier on the sort of one side of the farmhouse, and looking at it, you see it sort of corresponds to the direction the shots have been coming out. He looks at the three of you quizzically.
Okay, at some point I gotta write down all the things that you can use links for, because I had in my head that you can use it to do a free resist, which would get rid of the harm as opposed to ignoring it for one roll, but I can...
There is nothing about the recovery clock being reset on taking another harm.
Okay,
I
yeah,
also didn't
that's
find
fine
anything
then.
about that, which I guess, yeah, that's good news, I guess. So, yeah. Okay, sorry, what are we doing right now?
You've
We found
made
a
it.
farmhouse.
Yeah, you've made it across the field, field trench things, and now you're with Uncle Jack, who it seems has a barrier.
what-
He's just enjoying a nice tea outside.
What's going on, Jack? What's shooting at us?
Okay, the question here is: would Miracle have met Uncle Jack?
I just did. Seen us ago.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Part of the reason for us meeting him was so that we were imprinted in his memory, so it wasn't too hard for him to
Oh yeah,
to
of
think about
course.
it. It's like if we showed us like, oh yeah, that's just something that I that's my brain saw today.
Yeah, that's just Carys and her friends.
Oh yes, oh, Carys, it's lovely to see you. Why don't your friends sit down? I was just having a bit of just a bit of allowances. Just watch out. Just watch out. Keep your head down. It's very important to keep your head down.
Carys pouts and says, "No hugs."
Oh, of course, of course. And he embraces you.
Yeah, big squeeze.
Ah.
What happens to the entire world around us whilst this moment of adorableness happens? Do the shots stop ringing out for a moment, or do things get worse?
Okay, so there aren't any shots going on at the moment. Like, they're not just happening constantly. Basically, yeah, I think you'll sort of work it out pretty quickly. Anyone who's sort of exposed is getting shot, but it's not like they're just happening constantly. But for a minute, the sun does slightly brighten a bit.
Eee.
That's nice.
Once the embrace is done, Carys is going to take a seat, help herself to some of the drink, and naturally pour some out for Miracle and Tern, because one has to be polite in these situations, and say to Uncle Jack, Miracle asks you a question. It's not very polite to not answer.
Of course. Oh, and the lemonade is, it just tastes how you remember it. Like, he taught you how to make it at one point. You know, his secret combination of spices and sweetness. There's a bit of cinnamon in it, which makes it a bit spicier than normal. Well, Miracle, I don't know what you mean. Just, you just keep your head down, relax, and enjoy life, eh?
You're okay being shot at if you stick your head out the window?
Well, like I said, just keep your head down. What do you want, Miracle? What do you?
I love it when the dream is so obviously metaphorical. Like, the metaphor. It's easy and as subtle as a hammer.
Yeah, the way I see it, low level means I don't have to think of a complicated metaphor. I can just be blunt. It's supposed to be easy.
We are quite literally in someone's comfort zone here.
Yeah. Okay. So Miracle, you want to coerce more information from him? What do you want to roll?
Yeah. I'm kind of like a little bit off put by this, and not quite accepting it. In contrast to Carys being all smiles and sunshine, which is not normal for Carys. Like, I guess I've got to be the one who's slightly spiky about this, and I'm going to be the one who's pushing like Jack for a bit more explanation of no, like something's off here. Why are you okay with this? What's wrong? What's happened? And I'm going to use Defy for this if that's possible. I'm going towards a more confrontational approach.
Yeah, I think that's a good use of Defy. So yeah, do you want to push yourself? Take a poison promise? Pretend this is Blades and take a devil's bargain?
Anyone got a poison promise here?
He responds to your his impression of you becomes a negative one, and everything, all of your interactions going forward become more difficult.
I think I'd actually like to assist for one stress, because I think Tern, like hearing this from somebody else, like Tern is seeing a little bit of the same faults in Uncle Jack that he has confronted himself, and like not really liking the look of it. So he's gonna be backing Miracle up with this, I think.
That sounds good. Do you still want a poison promise?
If there's I will take the poison promise unless the emphasis off it, if that's okay, or if you got a better one.
Yeah. I'll say you can have an extra die if you accept that Uncle Jack will have a fairly negative relationship with Miracle specifically going forward.
Yeah.
Just from this pushback.
And it gets the
Alright.
extra die from the assist.
Yeah, so what position am I in for this one?
This is risky standard, please.
Okay. Well, good enough.
Yeah, that's 5, so success with a consequence.
Minor consequence, including the fact that Jack's going to be still
Yeah.
negatively pressured towards me regardless. Or I end up in desperate position.
Well, I don't care much for your attitude, but, well, sometimes, there are things going on, they're bigger than you. What can you do? Just keep your head down. Accept, if someone's doing wrong, someone else will stop them. And just look after your own, make sure they're cared for, and make sure, just carry on with your projects. Just don't worry about what happens outside the field as long as the crops are weeded. And as a consequence, you see him look extremely nervous at this point, and a plank basically pops out of the barrier that's sort of keeping this area sort of protected from the shootings, sort of the shooting side of the farm. And
I guess that must be in desperate position. Okay, yeah, I'm.
yeah,
fine
I'll
with
say
that.
that's put you in a desperate position. So yeah, would you like to roll to avoid getting shot?
Me getting shot. Oh, fun.
Yeah. You're the one making him nervous after all.
Indeed. Oh, I can transcend anytime I want, can't I?
Yep, but can you ever leave? No, that's the Hotel California.
Oh, okay. So I want to transcend.
Okay. You become the books.
Yeah. And I am going to utilize, as I take on the form of Tomorrow Yearns, I am going to start whirling a sheer amount of detritus around me as my form manifests, and use the small tornado I'm making around myself to reinforce the barricade in an artful fashion. And
Okay.
I'm actually getting them to do the bricks to do that because I am using my transcendent ability of Ex Machina.
Oh, nice.
And I want to compel the environment to change itself to suit my needs.
Okay, so you're trying to just outright fix the barrier here, or do you want to do something else?
I want to make it less of a barrier and make it more of an actual, like, something we don't have to worry about. A full-blown wall or a proper barrier as opposed to just a run-of-the-mill barricade. Something that actually makes it a more defensible position for us.
Okay.
Also, preferably if we can look out of it as well, but, beggars can't be choosers on this one.
Yeah,
It
maybe
will
if
be
you get
express.
Yeah, okay, yep, express sounds good.
And I do have to push myself.
Okay, that's going to be 2 stress for an extra die.
Yeah.
Die.
So, desperate.
Die, Jedi. Yep, desperate.
Standard.
Desperate standard.
Transcendent. 1 bonus dice.
Actually, no, because you're transcended, I'll say it's great. Well, that's kind of moot. Oh well.
Oh.
Yep. So you try to you just basically try to enforce your will on this dream. But what happens is you basically see Uncle Jack's eyes widen in panic, and instead of reinforcing the wall, basically the whole thing starts to fall apart, collapses, and a massive blast hits the table and sends everything flying. Miracle, you are knocked backwards, and this is going to be level 2 harm. Whoops. Actually, no. Level 2 harm. Structural failure.
Structural failure on me.
Yeah. Basically, like, this is structural failure of your work, which is probably the worst thing that can happen to an architect. You tried to build something and it just didn't work.
Indeed. That seems particularly bad.
You can resist, of course.
I can resist. This is level 2 harm, you say?
Level 2 harm. So resisting will only bump it down to level 1.
Using my armor with it. So yeah, let's resist.
Okay. So you see the barrier fall to pieces, but you just look at it fall apart. You think about it, reflect, and think, okay, you know what went wrong here. You can still work with this. So this is reduced to level 1 harm. Shaken. What's a concise way to say your faith in your abilities is a bit shaken?
I mean, it's going to be level 0 if I'm resisting, because it'll be reduced by 1 and then the armor will knock it down to 0.
Oh, of course. Oh, right. Sorry, I didn't realise you were resisting as well. So, yep, if you want to...
Sun rolling resist.
Yep, this will be sun to resist.
Let's see if I eclipse.
Apparently not.
Oh, don't do that.
About my armor.
Sheesh.
Roll 20 loves you today.
No, it
How much
doesn't.
stress are you on now?
I'm on 4 stress, I think. 5 stress.
Oh, okay.
5 stress.
Yeah.
You're on 5 now?
Yeah. But the, the 6 basically erased that. Meant that you didn't take any stress from this roll.
Yep. But I burnt my
No
armor.
problem.
As eyes glaze into a perfect white, like orbs, and just like all the wood I was trying to use to get the barricade up is just now used as bulletproofing.
Okay, so Uncle Jack
Just
says...
forming a shell around me.
Okay. Everyone inside the house. Everyone inside the house. And he
I was about to
bustles
say,
over to
we
the
should
door.
definitely be at least inside the house to start with.
Yeah. You can stay outside if you want to.
The hell no.
So, you can all sort of shuffle inside. And Uncle Jack, basically now his clothes suddenly look like outside they were he was very similarly dressed similar to Carys, sort of comfortable, casual, but very sort of neat, tidy. Basically not something you'd be wearing on a work day. He was just sort of relaxing it on the patio. And now he looks very haggard, they're covered in dirt, and he's sweating quite a bit.
I would like to take a moment to reassure Uncle Jack and to reinforce the idea of him being strong, independent, able to fix anything, sort of thing. Like, that was scary, but Uncle Jack, it's going to be fine, right? Because you're here, I'm here, and you know how to fix things, and I'm a great helper because I've always been able to help you, and together we can do anything, right? Just to try and get him that make sure he's in a place of confidence still.
Yeah, just give him a pep talk. What do you want to roll for this?
Express.
Yep, Express works. Are you pushing yourself? Any poison promises?
I don't think I can help.
Ooh, I've got a
I don't
poison
think I'm in a
promise.
position where I can help.
Okay, poison promise. You can have an extra die, but Uncle Jack will come to believe that Carys can only be happy at the cost of Miracle. His own happiness.
Hmm?
No. No.
I still have that link that I held
Carys
back
is
from
not
before.
happy with that promise.
I still have that link that I held back from before.
No, hold on to that for now. I am concerned that there's worse stuff coming down the road because this is shaping up to be a spicy investigation.
Yeah, for reference, I don't think we need links. I don't think we need links to deal with Eclipse rolls, at least from Hold Back the Nightmare. I think that's what that does.
Yeah.
But still, there's other things, and we can use a link to get rid of our own stress if we want to as well. So that's worth remembering. But anyway, no, I'm just rolling this straight then. 5.
Okay. So yeah, he sort of calms down a bit, catches his breath, and says, "Right, you are, Carys. You've always been such a spirited girl. It's just, well, you know, there's definitely something going on, and you know how it is. Do I say something, or do I just, you know, keep my head down, get on, and trust that someone who knows will know what to do? Obviously, my work's pretty important. I'm making strides in hydroponics."
Oh, who's the bad guy? Who's yeah?
Well, I don't suppose you've maybe you've seen him around campus. There's this lad called Chris.
Who gave this shark a gun? Why does it come back to what's it? I don't know.
Well, he was attached to my he was attached to the Memorial Mall restoration project by he was introduced by a couple of sorts.
What kind of thoughts?
Well, there was a strangest thing actually. You ever seen a punk hanging out with a policewoman?
I think there's just like a momentary fade as my transcendent just breaks down a little and then resumes. Yes, why?
Yes. Don't remember the punk's name, but officer was a Grays.
Raise.
Okay. That's not a name on my list.
That was
we've only encountered one cop so far named Jenny. We didn't get a surname.
There was actually a Constable Grays whose car you hit at the start of the first session.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
They weren't important. He wasn't important. He is now, though. Well.
They seem to be, they said they were with recruitment for, somewhat, I can't remember the details. But yes, they basically insisted he, join the project. And, yeah, that was that. And good news, you can actually mark this down. Grays is a provocator for indoctrination.
Conspiracy.
Cool. Put that in there then. Okay. Well.
So I've got a shark and a gator.
Where's the gate come from?
I'm just memeing at this point. I don't know, from Propagator.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all the branches of the conspiracy have the propagators. They're like the tier 1 sort of mooks.
And so are you just kind of ignoring the fact that Graze is leaning on you for things at the moment? Is that what this is?
Well, as long as the project goes ahead, we'll help a lot of people.
Why is the project so important? And how's it going to help people?
Well, it's hydroponics. It's reclaiming abandoned buildings. It's the best of the future of the city. And, well, places all over the world. Can you imagine it? Abandoned warehouses. Abandoned shopping centres. All used as test beds and reclaimed as farmland.
I can. It sounds fairly good if it's done correctly. Why does it need to be done secretly?
Oh, no, the project's very above board. Well, I just didn't ask questions, but, I mean, they're up to something. Why else would they want their man in here, on my project? I mean, surely they couldn't do anything particularly terrible with my work.
You know, let Carys take over here.
Carys is currently coming to the conclusion that Uncle Jack is not involved with the conspiracy per se, but the conspiracy is trying to use him for something, and therefore wants to go kick Chris in the shins.
Always a valid course of action.
Yeah, let's go kick Chris in the shins.
The cheery disposition that Carys had is at this point gone. And with a little bit of a frown, a little bit of a sway, she looks up at Uncle Jack and says, "You know what I would do? Because this man sounds like a bully. I would do what I did to the bullies in middle school, because we're in America and they have middle school."
I'm leaving it sort of ambiguous where you are.
Yeah. Call it high school. Give him warning. Give him a second warning, and if he still doesn't back off, kick him in the shins. I'll kick him in the shins for you, Uncle Jack.
Okay. What do you want to roll for this?
I don't even know what I'm trying to achieve, to be quite honest. I suppose most of it is I'm leaving the investigation, the getting information out of him part of it to the other two, and using my influence over him to keep things as calm and stable as I can.
Okay, yeah, I'll say, yeah, you can...
stress for days.
Yeah. Yep, I'll say because, this is your Uncle Jack, you can say this is controlled, standard effect. Do you want to push yourself?
Nah.
The poison promise is still open?
I'm going to level
no.
I'm at 100% CPU, just taking notes and listening at the same time.
Okay, straight roll.
Okay.
3, that was not good.
More of those, really? More of those?
His face,
Is more of those what we need?
His face falls.
Right.
This, Carys, I don't want you getting yourself in any trouble over this. Please. Just don't worry about it. I mean, carry on with your studies. Just enjoy time with your friends, and don't worry. My work will, change everything, no matter what anyone's trying to do.
How shut up is the house getting at this point?
There's no sign that the house is being shot in any way. You do you're fairly sure at this point that the gunshots only happen when there is a viable target.
And you're comfortable living like this? Like, the second you try to raise any type of fuss or make yourself known, you're okay with Chris striking at you like this?
Well, who said it was Chris?
It was implied.
No, Chris
I
is
think he
the
was saying it was,
Chris is the watchdog. Somebody else is delivering the consequences.
Yeah, this might be Grace then, yeah.
but it's Reyes, right? Reyes.
Greys, as in the colour grey.
Oh, Grays. Oh, okay. I was hearing that completely wrong.
Yeah, I am very pointedly pronouncing it Greys, though. So it sounds like an injury.
Anywho.
Okay.
Oh. Okay. Balls in your court here, Carys. How do you want to proceed? Carys?
Thinking. Sorry, it's Carys at this point is inclined to leave because it's like I got Jack's not involved, you know. He just wants to do his job. Leave him alone.
Yeah. I mean, that is valid. You have got some information now. You can basically just leave the dream and call it here.
Yeah.
Or if you don't want to keep digging.
Chase up on the unless does anybody else want to keep digging is the question. I'm happy to keep trying to play the buffer.
Kind of the obvious thing would be to convince him to try to like fight back and make weird things known and stuff, but he seems pretty deep into his apathy or whatnot, where I don't know if we're in a very good position to pull him out of it.
He sort of recognizes what the status quo is and is like very much mired in it. And Carys's concern there is that if we try to bring him out of it, like now, before we've actually got close to solving the overall problem, is that he'll be drawn into the fight and become a casualty.
Yeah.
Mario doesn't particularly want to, and it's taking everything that Miracle can do to pull them back from doing so. So, I guess if you two are planning to leave, it's tough. But I guess I'm pulling myself away from it. Doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem like how you make a better tomorrow. But I guess
able to promise him the kind of safety that he needs.
Gritted teeth.
I'm trying to think of a way we can have a conversation without being like within earshot of Uncle Jack, without it being sus.
Yeah, I'll say you've got sort of three options here. You can sort of keep pushing Uncle Jack. You can sort of look around other parts of the dream, or you can just try and extract yourselves from the dream.
Ooh, no, that's not
able to transcend reliably. I could help with the extraction, but
the other parts of the dream, are there any hints as to his concerns about his work?
Yeah, what do you want to roll if you want to sort of work that out?
Analyze?
Yeah, sure. Are you looking for anything in particular, or is this just a general, okay, what's going on with his work here?
Something in particular, so some metaphor or hint as to a misuse of like plants of some kind, I think is what I'm getting from him.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds right. Yep, so what were you saying you wanted to use?
Analyze?
Yep, analyze works for this. I'll call that risky standard.
I'm gonna push myself.
Okay, 2
Do
stress,
you
add an
want
extra
to die from
die.
that link?
Actually, yeah, that dot would probably be really good here.
Yep, don't take the stress. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, I'll spend the link then.
Yep. Good job we did. Avoided a 2.
Okay. So yep, a 4 is a success with a consequence, of course. Let's see. So, you sort of cast your eyes around, and they sort of catch on his bookshelf. Now, you remember the bookshelf from his, you've visited his farm before, and you know what his bookshelf looks like. You know, he's a huge science fiction fan. And sort of looking at the shelf, you realise it doesn't look quite right. But there's a large leather-bound volume of a story you know he absolutely hated, and it's basically it's called Little Lab of Horrors, and it's about a scientist who engineers plants and ends up creating a horrible plant monster that he ends up in a sort of a strange abusive relationship with. It's a whole thing. Had a musical adaptation. And yep, you know, he outright dislikes it, but in like his dream world, it's got a very expensive leather-bound volume. And he sort of, yep, maybe they're encouraging him to take his research in a way that's more experimental with the plants instead of just ways to grow them. Like maybe using his work creating hydroponic farms as a cover for some more advanced research and making him look the other way. Okay. As a consequence, basically, you as you're looking at the bookshelf, Uncle Jack sees you pulling at the book and immediately slaps his hand on it and pushes it back in place in an uncharacteristically sort of not aggressive, but definitely sort of a startled way. And he says,
I look suitably contrite.
Okay, Carys, this isn't the time for stories. And he just sort of trails off. And basically, Carys, you do feel a little pang of guilt here. In fact, quite a significant pang. A level 1 harm pang, you might say. So we're going to call this guilt.
Problem.
Yep, 2 level 1 harms already.
Does that automatically upgrade this to a level 2?
I think it bumps one of the previous ones up. Or it makes it 2, I forget which.
Yeah, you take this new harm's level 2.
Yeah.
Guilt.
Yep, so level 2 harm, guilt. Unless, of course, you want to resist it.
Ooh, I could resist it. I'm not going to, but I could.
Okay. You're in a bad way here.
It's fine. I'm worried about eclipsing again. But yeah, she apologizes, like, sorry, Uncle Jack. It looked interesting. Different.
Oh. Well. Yeah, he looks very sort of nervous. Sort of on the back foot. It might be quite easy to coerce something out of him if you felt so inclined. But of course, your other options are to look elsewhere in the dream world, or you could, again, leave.
I glance over at the other two and give him a little, like, little head tilt, little, like.
I wanna try one last perceive. I think just kind of look around.
Okay, you're looking around too. Are you looking for anything in particular?
What was the clue about that? Was there much of a clue about that that book, that Shop of Horrors book?
Yeah, most of it's basically Carys' knowledge of her uncle, but basically it's the whole it makes it pretty clear he's worried about sort of other research being done on plants in the sort of hydroponic farms he's in charge of.
And Carys put it back, right?
That's right.
If Carys would happen to have moved somewhere else in the room where Jack is focusing on her, could I maybe sneak a peek and glance into it and maybe glean any particular details about that worry through that book?
Yeah, this is all running on dream logic, so yeah. If you want to roll something to sneak over to it, you can. What'll it be?
I think either perceive or conceal kind of makes equal sense. I'm gonna go with perceive.
Yep, perceive works. So yeah, we'll call this.
I want to save stress, so I don't want to push right now.
Yeah, I'll say this is a desperate roll because obviously Carys has already suffered a consequence.
Hot dang.
So don't forget to mark your XP, but also yeah, don't fail the roll. Or do. It'll be entertaining.
Enfys, you still have that other link with me, right?
Yeah. I can spend that if you want.
Do you want me to help?
Yeah, I think maybe we'll try this now. We'll
Do you want me to
spend that on
spend
this.
stress to help?
I have spent the link.
Oh, if you want to, Keith. Yeah.
I'm just trying to work out if we can both at the same time is the problem. No, the link's already been used, so I can't really. Yeah, the link's already like there, so I can't help. You can't get two people
I'm never
helping.
clear on what stacks.
Nothing stacks.
I mean, some
Oh wait, no,
stuff
this assistance does stack for link. Yeah, I'll spend stress to help.
Okay, so that's plus 2 dice.
I guess so.
I have 1 dot in perceive.
Okay, that's going to be 3 dice then. It's pretty good.
Does anybody have any promises on offer? I think those stack with everything.
No, you can push yourself.
The poisoned bargains.
You can push yourself instead of taking poison promise.
This is true. Poison promise. I will still offer. Yeah, poison. I will offer the previous poison promise, but directed towards Tern. So Uncle Jack will decide that sort of Carys' happiness is at odds with Tern's and act accordingly.
Hmm. 3 dice is quite a few.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically like an 80-something% chance of success.
It's guaranteed. Is the thing. I'm going with well, dang it, I don't know.
And roll it.
I've already blown its cover with the conspiracy. Jack didn't want. Okay, I'm gonna not take the promise. Then I'm gonna stick with 3 dice.
Okay, go
Jack
right
could
ahead.
end up getting himself further involved with the conspiracy just to mess with Tern. So, was the expect standard?
Yep, desperate standard. Yep.
Okay.
So the consequences are going to be worse.
Plus 2 dice.
Yep. Don't forget to mark your XP, of course.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, that's a 5. So a success with a consequence, but it's a good success. So you managed to make your way up to the book. Sorry, go on.
I have a rules lawyer question.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but I was locked out of Transcendence until I succeed on a roll. Do I get that back again in time where, depending on what this consequence is, I would be able to resist it while transcendent?
I'll say that this success has unlocked Transcendence, so no. That's sort of the order of operations.
Okay. Okay, so it's after the effects, including consequences of this roll, have fully resolved, then Transcendence is back on the
that's
table
right.
as a thing I can do.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, for a 5, you're able to sort of wait for Carys and Uncle Jack to be talking again, and you can move forward, pull out the book and open it, and what you find is basically like the author's portrait has been replaced with a picture of Uncle Jack, and in the biography you can see Carys, does Uncle Jack have a first name? I mean a surname.
Jack? I was so confused for a moment. For the sake of not stressing everybody else out, I'm gonna say off the top of my head, Morgan.
Okay, yeah. So James Morgan,
Jack.
noted botany and agricultural expert, and assistant in the important field of experimental botany, up to and including research into exotic and dangerous plants, under the study of the brilliant. Let me. I'm
sorry, was that James meant to be Jack, or was it? Is this how many challenges are we?
No, his first name is James, but he goes by Jack. That's not particularly uncommon.
English names do not make any goddamn sense. Nicknames. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Then again, like every male English name is just some kind of. It's just John, apparently.
Yeah, it's John's all the way down.
Oh,
I think you might have lost your stream of thought entirely there, Brie.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sorry. So, yep. Sorry, under the guidance of the brilliant Professor Cider. And you all know that Professor Cider is someone who works at the university, and they do indeed study biology. They are basically a professor of biology.
Interesting.
Congratulations, you have the follower for the indoctrination tier.
is cider the follower? Also, also is cider spelled like the drink?
It's spelled like the plant,
Huh?
the tree. Cedar.
Cedar.
Yes, but he
Okay.
pronounces it cider.
Whatever.
That's how you make. That's how you world build. Just mispronounce names. and if you pronounce them correctly, misspell them. Okay, but onto the consequence.
Yep.
Basically, Uncle Jack sort of looks up to glare at Miracle, and in the corner of the eye he catches you of the book. He turns white as a sheet and says, and just quietly whispers, I think only Carys can hear this, but he just says, no. And with that, the entire house starts collapsing.
I think we're leaving.
I think it's time to go. You
I think the
two
house
get
is
going.
leaving from
I'm just gonna try to
Yeah. With there's a
Just-
series
just-
of Sorry, come.
yeah, go on.
Okay, there's a series of rhythmic bangs, and you realise someone's knocking at the door as it's falling to pieces.
Okay, as soon as there's a big enough hole in the roof, transcendence, full extraction. Carys, am I taking Jack with us?
I mean, it's his dream. Can you pull someone out of their own dream?
I don't think that
I
would
don't
be
know how to
advisable anyway. I think this is
Probably.
more of a manifestation of his fear than anything else. Carys is going to direct you both to the back door, while she tries to calm Uncle Jack down, and also tells Tern, put the book back.
I put the book back first, but then like we all need out of here, and you need out of here too.
I know. I'll follow you. I know the way. I know the house. I know Uncle Jack. It'll be okay. It'll be okay because we're here to help each other, and that bit's more about Uncle Jack than it.
Okay, so I guess I'm just flying Miracle out of here.
I'm transcendent as well. I'm like
Well,
able to go as well.
yeah. I mean,
Okay,
it's
as
in theory
you're
bird faster,
Yeah,
but-
I'm going.
yeah, as you're making your minds up, you hear a voice from the other side of the door, and it says, "Open up! It's the police." And you recognise this is the voice of Officer Grays, who, of course, Carys lightly bumped the car off a few weeks ago.
And then proceeded to irritate the man. No, woman, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, woman.
Yeah.
I've got she,
Oh.
her pronouns written on my notes anyway.
I should include pronouns on my notes.
I am going to force this dream to come to an end before the door gets opened.
Ooh.
Ooh. Okay.
We can do that.
Do you have an ability for this, or do you want to roll something for it?
No, I have an ability for it. Like, I'm going to be able to push myself to make it, like, be all dramatic with Ex Machina again, but primarily I'm going to use Defy for this to just force the dream to come to a halt so everyone wakes up.
Okay. Yep, everyone out of the
Pulling
pool.
the emergency ripcord on it, yeah.
Okay, Defy sounds good. We'll call this Risky Standard. Actually, no,
Very
this
risky.
is... Yep, you're right. Desperate Standard. Get wrecked.
Yeah, fine. Pushing myself.
Can I help?
Do you want the dream to
this
stop?
Yeah, because this is either somebody else is invading the dream, or Uncle Jack's having a real bad time. Either way, waking up is better.
I guess I can spend a stress to help Alta for the dream, since I guess I'm not going to be using it for resistance.
I mean,
Only one of you needs to help.
That's literally what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it stacked. I keep thinking things stack.
Link stacks with it.
Yeah, only one ally can help. Although I think Link would take the place of it, right?
No, Link's
Yeah.
separate.
Yeah.
All right, pushing myself.
But
Got
anyway.
some help from
Yeah.
Ceres.
And I'm emphasizing to Uncle Jack that it's just things work out when we work together, and I know he'd never let any sort of harm come to me. Emphasizing one, that he would try to help if he could, and two, harm is coming through that door. So like waking him up with the fear.
Here we go.
Okay, let's see how this goes. Okay. Don't forget to
pretty
mark
well.
your XP. And yeah, that's a
Done.
6. Success without any consequences.
I
So-
think what happens is everything bar the door blows away.
Like that scene in the Matrix when they're in the white and everything just rushes past them.
So that all that's left is the surroundings of the farmland and just this door standing up on the foundations. And as it opens, there is just white, and Jack gets to see Sarah saying, "It's going to be okay, it's going to be okay," and then snap awake, everyone wakes up.
Okay, yeah. So, you, Miracle forcefully, sort of ends the dream, extracting everyone and waking Jack up. You all come to in the car. It's, a lot more humid than when you fell asleep. Like, oppressively so.
Windows.
Yeah. You, scramble at the windows, but they don't work unless the car's engine switched on.
Carys doesn't open a window. Carys gets out of the car to lean against it.
Okay, up above, you see a light in Uncle Jack's sort of flat flick on, but there's no movement around the curtains just yet.
Okay,
One
extraction
slow,
number 2. We need out of here.
one slow, deep breath. Carys gets back into the car. Am I driving or somebody else driving?
I can't drive, remember?
Oh right, I'm driving. And I get us moving.
Okay, you fire up the engine and leave. In the distance, you see the flash of an approaching siren.
Huh?
Put my seatbelt on.
Yeah, but you're able to drive away long before anyone actually shows up. And congratulations, that's the successful mission. You've uncovered, you've worked out Uncle Jack isn't directly involved, and you've got a couple of names.
Yes.
Yep. Cedar
last
and
thing-
Grace.
The last thing that Carys says, and it's very quiet, barely audible, and that's if you're listening for it. It's just, I knew it. I knew it. He wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
It's so lovely when the people you care about aren't involved in a terrible conspiracy. I think that's everyone's favourite part.
I was expecting you to make Uncle Jack like one of the like put him somewhere on the list of people, and it was gonna be heart-wrenching.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I sort of considered now what would be the most impactful, and I in the end, I basically just rolled randomly to decide how high up everyone's NPCs are in the conspiracy.
Oh.
Oh.
Anyways,
Fallout.
Yep. We're now in the Fallout phase. So, consequences of the group's mission. We'll start with the adversary track. So, every mission exposes the group to reprisals regardless of the mission's outcome. During Fallout, the adversary track advances by 1 segment, plus 1 additional segment for each of the following. So, did the adversary's agenda move forward?
I don't think so.
No, you just did some quiet investigation and they didn't even catch you. Someone fell into eclipse, was killed or defected to the adversary. Nope, not really. And did you come any closer to your destinies as established in the series creation?
No.
No.
Okay, I guess it's just 1 point on the adversary track, plus the 1 point you had earlier as a poison promise.
Yep.
What's we on now?
That puts us up to tier 1, 5 out of 6.
Ooh, we're getting close to a full bar.
No, we have 2 different conspiracy tracks. I'm reading them wrong. Tier 2, 1 out of 6. We've gone up.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I have good news for you.
No, you don't.
I don't think you actually need to. You don't need to pick your next mission.
Oh dear.
We just have to roll the Fallout shell, don't we?
Yeah, actually,
I'll have stuff starting to happen.
Yeah, I'll double check anyway. But yeah, Fallout roll.
Who wants to roll a d6?
You want to roll it, Nollis?
Yep. So you're rolling a number of dice equal to the investigation tier. So I believe that's 2. Yep.
2d6, keep 1. I mean,
do we half investigation?
Still, right?
Do we half investigation first, or do we? Guess not. And then we half it afterwards, I guess.
Yeah, that happens after the roll.
All right. Okay. Then yeah, 2 dice.
Okay.
It's
Nice.
I put it in.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Higher one
2
with a
dice.
4.
Yeah, 1 and a 4.
Okay, 1 and a
Right.
4. Where's that table gone? Oh, here we are.
A suspect is put in danger.
Okay, let's see.
Suspect is put in danger.
Carys.
Hi.
You hear as you're driving, you hear a ringtone you just haven't heard in a very long time. Obviously, you're driving, so you can't answer the phone, can you?
Do you want me to get that?
I pull over and I answer.
Okay, so you pull onto the hard shoulder. And by the time you've done this, your phone stop ringing. You have a missed call from Alice Witherbloom, student council president and your former best friend until the last year.
Okay. Seeing that name on the caller ID, I don't even address it immediately. It's Alice. Fuck that noise. We've had a hell of a night. I'm going home. I'll drop the others off, but then I'm going home.
Okay, so you're not going to follow up on this?
Not immediately, but I'll listen to like the voicemail that's presumably there once I'm back home.
Okay, so when you're home alone, you can listen to the voicemail that's left. All you hear is heavy breathing.
Did I get sleep dialed by Alice? She kept my number?
Do you try to call her back or anything?
I'll text her is what I'll do. Just a short missed a call from you. In fact, I don't text her until the following morning. Because I don't want to. I don't. It's just weird. It's.
Okay. Following morning. You
Yeah,
text her.
I give her a text first thing in the morning saying, "Missed a call from you. Hope everything's okay." And that's about it, really.
Okay. You basically find the text stays unread for about an hour. And yep, it stays that way for another hour and another hour. At some point in the afternoon, someone sort of like just a random classmate you sort of know by sight, don't really know them that well, says to you, "Oh hey Carys, you seen Alice anywhere? You're friends, right?" "No, I've seen her all day."
Once upon a time. Then I tried to call her because that's a little bit unusual.
Okay. No one picks up.
For it to disappear without telling anyone. That's something I'm going to have to follow up on.
Yeah, I'm going to say any attempt you make to contact her from this point, just nothing. And no one else seems that sure where she is either. Okay. With that, we can get on to the fun stuff like XP.
XP.
Okay, who wants to go
Perfect as a
first?
student council, huh? What you gonna have more than one person looking for? I was looking in the reference sheet. Sorry.
Yeah. XP, anyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could do
Let's.
XP.
Okay, Miracle. If you could just
Just
give
bring
us
my
your
sheet
XP triggers from your playbook then.
Addressed a challenge with knowledge or subtlety. Not really this time. Expressed my
Yeah.
beliefs, drives, role, or background. Tried to. Don't
Yeah,
think I succeeded, but tried to.
yeah, I mean, you sort of came across as your typical burnout self, so I'll say you can have 2 XP for that.
Pling. And one in the main experience part, so dinged up once already. Struggled with issues for my promises or obligation. Not this time. I think I've tried to reach out to Carys, and I think she seems to be okay, but I'm not sure if I'm doing anything to help there, though, so I don't think it works. And I've not embodied Eclipse yet, either.
Yeah. What's your Eclipse state again?
I was one away from Eclipsing this time, but, you know, we also have to roll for that if it happens.
Yeah, you still.
No, my Eclipse state, I haven't Eclipsed yet.
Yeah, but you do get XP for role playing your Eclipse state because it's not obviously not at the forefront, but it's still part of your character all the time.
It's kind of there. I can take. I'll take an experience point for it.
Okay, what is your eclipse state, sorry?
It's when I eclipse, no more wasting time with friends or feelings. They just get in the way.
Yeah, I'll give you an XP for that.
Yay. Okay.
Okay, who's next then? Or should I just roll a die?
I'll go
It's
next.
later for interest than it is for me, so.
Enfys spoke first.
Excellent. Okay. You address the challenge with foresight or revelation.
Well, you did find the book. You did work out what was going on with your uncle, so I think that's a clear 2 XP.
Ooh, nice. Okay, so I'll max out that track. So I've got 2 tracks maxed out. Hooray!
Oh yeah, don't forget you maxed out a track with one of your...
Yeah, that's why I've got 2 maxed out.
Oh, okay,
because
fair
of
enough
that
then.
one. Okay, you express your beliefs, drives, role, or background. Maybe.
Well, you're literally investigating your uncle at his...
Yeah.
yeah,
The weary caretaker side of it, kind of.
yeah, and
Yeah,
the way you
and-
sort of embodied like classic Carys, I guess season 1 Carys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'll let you have 2 XP for that.
Oh, 2.
Unless-
I'm gonna max out another bar.
Unless you really want to argue you shouldn't.
I was expecting 1, but if you want to give me 2, I'm not gonna complain.
Yeah. It was a Carys heavy session.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I mean, to be expected, really, because I'm the drag. You struggled with issues from your promises or obligation. I don't think I did. I don't think the student bit came into it, or the volunteer bit.
Yeah, I don't think that actually really came up that much.
Yeah.
Your eclipse state
Not
is
till right at the
basically...
end, no.
Yeah. Your eclipse state is basically feeling sort of helpless, and so that didn't really come up either. So,
Yeah.
yep, I think that's it.
Yep. All done.
Okay. Last but not least, Nolus, if you could give us Tern's XP triggers.
Yep. Address the challenge with kindness or self-sacrifice. It crossed my mind several times, but I don't really think I really got that in. Like, I don't think I really spoke up with anything of that sort in particular.
I'll say you can have 1 XP because you did get your you did get Stormcrow shot trying to do a bit of a recce.
Okay. Yeah, that wasn't intended as self-sacrifice, but it kind of ended up as it without me meaning it to. Express
things
beliefs,
happen.
drives, role, or sorry.
I said these things happen sometimes.
Yeah. Beliefs, drives, role, background. I kind of tried to bring my role into helping to confront Jack, like with his apathy and stuff, and going along with the conspiracy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I really did that more than once, though.
Yeah, you can have an XP for it.
Issues from promises or obligation, not so much, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think your obligations or any promises really came up.
Embodied, eclipsed, or displayed the contents of your heart, which it doesn't mention anything about in that heading about the avatar virtue and desires.
What is your character's eclipse state? It should be on your playbook.
The eclipse. I don't think it's in the sheet, but I know it's in the book. I just gotta. At some point, I gotta memorize some.
Your,
It is
your
obviously-
avatar's nature is the content of your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember the basic gist of the eclipse thing is that you kind of take matters into your own hands because, like, your example is not enough or something. But the parts about the avatar that I keep thinking of is like a drive towards agency and escape, and basically to that end, I keep looking for I keep keeping an eye out for, like, okay, we got something now, like, now we gotta, like, jump out of here. We gotta escape from the situation and exit the mission. So I was fully ready to just do what I thought of doing before and just turn into a giant bird, grab both my teammates, get out of there. Except this time I was considering whether to include Jack and that, to pull that just into a different part of his own dream world. But I wasn't sure if that was something that was on the table or not, which is why I asked to check with Carys first.
Yeah. I mean, attempting. I guess you can have it. I'll say 1 XP because you did try it. Or you did put it on the table at least, so yeah. Okay, and last but not least, Series XP.
So that's 3.
So, successfully carried out a mission from the series list. 1.
Yep.
Delve into conspiracy's maze and give solace to dreamers. Not sure if we gave solace here.
Nope.
We did, however, explore the inner world of suspects and face their demons.
I'm putting all 3 XP into playbook because I know what ability I'm going for next.
Fair enough. Yep.
So
Yep,
1
that
for
sounds right.
exploring the inner world of suspects. And express the essential nature, origin, or destiny of the group. Kind of with the flashback stuff.
Yeah. With the sort of flashback to season 1, I'll say that sort of works.
Oh
And
yeah,
that fills an XP bar.
Ooh. That's, I believe, is a new ability for you. Or
Hooray!
transcendent
We can
ability.
choose that off. Yeah, we can choose
Yeah,
that
we
off.
choose
screen.
that off. Yeah.
Sheet is that on? Because I can't seem to find
Protagonist
it.
sheet.
Oh, you know what? I was being dumb. Leave me alone.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
I forgot my code. I forgot the XP trigger for my code.
Oh, right, yeah. Would you say you've stuck to your code, and would you say the rest of the party stuck to it?
It's kind of in the forefront of my mind at more or less all times, to be honest.
Okay, just list out what your the things on your code are.
Violence, admitting fault, asking for help.
Okay.
As in things we should
And
or
as I
shouldn't do.
mentioned, as I mentioned, all this stress from obligation probably came from trying to talk Phil into helping them without asking her for help.
Okay. Let's slow that down a bit because you're throwing a lot of words and I'm a bit frazzled at this point. Violence, asking for help, and what was the other thing?
Admitting fault.
Admitting fault. Are those things you are not allowed to do?
Yes.
Okay. We didn't do any violence. Nobody admitted fault, I believe, in the party. And nobody asked for help, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
So that's 1 XP to where?
That's 1 series XP, and since I did it, I get 1 XP.
That's correct. If Tern follows his code, he gets XP. If the entire party follows the code, you get series
I
XP.
already marked it.
Yeah.
Oh, you've already done it. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the session, I guess.
Huzzah! We did
Thank
it!
you for. I'll find someone to raid. Thank you for playing. Does anyone want to plug anything?
Thank you for hosting.
Nothing today.
On Sunday, there will... No, wait, not this Sunday. I might be on the wrong week. Sunday's Pathfinder,
You're
right?
wrong.
Yep, this Sunday's Pathfinder.
Then yes, I'm on the wrong week. In which case, never mind. Saturday may or may not involve co-op games, and I may or may not stream it. It is entirely weather dependent.
Yeah, it is crazy warm. For my part, depending on if it ends up being too warm or not, I'll be on Nick's channel tomorrow for some level up A5E as ran by Pixel. We are, appropriate enough, we have entered the dream world looking for an ancient artifact, and I'm sure nothing bad will happen.
Nothing bad will happen at all.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
What could go wrong in a tabletop RPG when you're in dreams? Like, I mean, what kind of GM would make their players suffer?
Speaking of suffering players, next Thursday, Lancer, Enfys. I'm going to blow your mech up.
Are you really? I still
Yes.
have my core power.
Oh, then you're going to blow your own mech up.
Yeah. Okay, so we're raiding Le Zodiac. Yeah. Anyone got anything else to add?
Going right into my notes for next session, downtime, heal, Enfys. I forget, Keith, did you get any harm?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
I know you resisted
Yeah.
it. Didn't you?
All right. Bye,
Yep.
everybody.
Nice.
Bye.
Oh yeah, one quick thing. I'm just going to quickly post a link in chat. I'm running a poll to decide what I start streaming this Monday. Feel free to vote in that. It's multiple choice. Well, in any case, I'm going to double check the rules on what happens when the first level of the adversary track fills up, and we're going to raid in 3, 2, 1. Everyone say goodbye.
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 At the beginning of your end step.
Let's go. Okay, the raid's gone through. It's still recording. If you want to add anything for YouTube.
Nothing from me.
Like,
I'm going to stop this music.
subscribe, make a comment.
It is hard to think with that music playing. I wonder if I can set it up so I don't have to hear it myself.
Most likely, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, stopping the stream proper.